Hi everybody, Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. I've had a horrible last few days, I'll be honest. Had the worst flu I've ever had in my life. Over the last 3 days. It's been awful. Barely got out of bed. I haven't got out of bed for about 3 days. Couldn't even go to the Liverpool game. I was so ill. Is that a bad thing? Probably not in a retrospect. But I wanted to do a little video. Oh God, I wanted to do a little video to have a sort of retrospective look at last year, my thoughts of 2024, and suggest maybe what could go into 2025. But I'd love to get your views in terms of what you think is going to happen in 2025 when it comes to West Ham. In 1992, the Queen once spoke of a past year in her Queen's speech as being an Annus Horribilis, a horrible year, when reflecting on the past 12 months of 1992. And I think it's fair to say, as West Ham fans, 2024 was a pretty horrible anus. In fact, December was absolutely awful off the pitch, with Antonio's potential career-ending crash, Julian Lopetegui losing his father to a long-standing illness, our youth team goalkeeper Oscar losing his battle to cancer, 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 stopping his cancelled treatment in order to enjoy the remaining time he has with his family. And then on New Year's Eve itself, the news that Jarrod Bowen had fractured his foot. Collectively, December was really shitty for us. Incidentally, we will be doing a 𝙊𝙊𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 appreciation night in a couple of weeks' time, with the proceeds going to DT38. So keep an eye on that. Lots of stuff, clips of Ludo, clips of ex-players talking about him, that type of thing. So that'd be good fun. That coupled with a fan base which has largely been disengaged with the club recently, along with the football we've endured this year, it doesn't pay 2024 in any decent light at all. Having closed out the year with a 5-0 drubbing by Liverpool, thankfully I wasn't there to see it, it took us to 79 goals conceded in the calendar year, the most we've ever conceded in a Premier League calendar year, and around, I think, 10 wins all year, with 16 Premier League losses. However, revenue was on the up, £270 million, up 14% for the previous year, and a pre-tax profit of 57 million quid. We now enter January, in the January transfer window, with a number of priorities. Clearly, forward is needed. However, with reports that David Sullivan wants to once again take a more active role in the transfer window, albeit we know he's already been actively in the transfer role in previous windows. I don't know whether we're not going to have another horrible anus in 2025. Some green shoots, maybe, with the involvement of the academy, move more into the sort of the league squads. Ollie Scarl's now seemingly more favoured for the reserve left-back slot over Aaron Cresswell, albeit, Wan-Bissaka taking that spot. With Bowen's injury, that would mean Somerville should get a run in the first 11 for once, and Kudus can play in his more natural position. But you can hear my straws clearly being clutched at the moment. We're in a hole, there's no denying it, on and off the pitch, in the stands, on social media, amongst the fan base. We're not in a great place as West Ham. But January is a new year. It's a new month. It's a new window. And we'll see what that shall bring. Will we prove right? Will we prove wrong? We don't know. Probably more the latter, to be honest. But every day brings a different surprise, as we know, with being a West Ham fan. We've been through a lot worse, let's be fair. We've had a shit 12 months, I think. It's fair to say. I think we've had a shit December as well, off the pitch. And just like my dreams, they fade and die. Fortune's always hiding. I've looked everywhere, but I'll keep blowing those bubbles. Don't forget that. And I don't think you'll forget blowing those bubbles as well, my friends. Irrespective of what happens on the pitch, irrespective of what happens in the dugout, irrespective of what happens in the boardroom, we're West Ham fans. We've always been West Ham fans through thick and thin. And I think we'll continue to follow our team. It's been very frustrating for frustrating for us as well, frustrating for, people making content and stuff. It's like, it's difficult to get excited and get hyped up for another drubbing or another boring performance. It's been fair to say, I think the football's been worse since, on average, since we took the decision, or the decision was made to get rid of David Moyes and replace him with 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉𝙉. Yes, stats might suggest that, we've got more shots and passes and stuff like that, but from a game management situation, seems to be all over the place. But, yes, we've conceded 79 goals in a calendar year, but don't forget 5 months of them, or half of those games, or 3/4 of those games, would have been under the David Moyes tenure. And it's an area which we need to plug. We need to plug. Yes, I'm all for getting progressive football and all this type of stuff, but if you're not keeping the goals in the back of the net, if you're not keeping clean sheets, if you're not defending, you're not hiding to nothing already. You're up against it, and that's the issue. It's always been for me. We've needed to sort out that defence. Now we've been chopping and changing. Whether it's with 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉𝙉 and 𝙊𝙉𝙗𝙗, and there needs to be a step change. Something needs to happen, because otherwise we're just going to sort of blindly wallow into about 16th, 15th position this season, which might happen. We might get to a situation where they've almost written off the season, which isn't great for us, isn't great for you, isn't great for anyone, really. Isn't great for the players, isn't great for a new manager wanting to come in, isn't great for a new player wanting to come in. We are in a lull. We are in a hole, as I said. And I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. And part of that excites me in a weird way. It's the uncertainty. One of the criticisms of previous managements is predictable, dull, top 10, mid-table. And we needed those periods of stability to build upon, but we haven't built upon them. And that's the problem with me. That's the problem I have at the moment, is doesn't seem to be any direction. We thought with the appointment of Tim Stein, there was a beginning of the move of the direction, but unfortunately we had a big David Moyes shaped veto blocker. Anything Tim wanted to do was, in essence, vetoed by David Moyes under his current under the contract he was involved in. And then we thought, okay, well, we brought in a new person, brought in 𝙊𝙉𝙗𝙉𝙉, fantastic. He's going to be the coach. Steiden's going to be the man. And then we found out that there's obviously differences of opinions between himself, between Sullivan, between 𝙊𝙉𝙗𝙉𝙉, the three of them, which naturally there will be. They're all very strong-willed men. But I thought that might have been the start. Had a lot of false dawns at West Ham, haven't we? A lot of false dawns. At the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm always happy to wipe the slate clean and start again. 2025 is a new year. It is a new year. It's a new opportunity. We've got a January transfer window, which we could do something in. Whether you think we have to, whether the narrative is we have to sell to, I don't know. No one genuinely knows. The ITKs don't know. The only people who know are the guys on the board and Tim Stein and people like that. They're the only ones who genuinely know how much money we've got and what we're going to prioritise on. We all have our own opinions. We can all rant and rave about our opinions of what we think's right and disagree with each other, but we generally don't know what's going on. But there is an opportunity, as there has been every bloody sort of 12 months, it seems, 12 to 18 months, of kick-starting it. This fan base doesn't need a lot. Doesn't need a lot to get behind you. We've seen that. Literally running after a pointless ball will get the fans behind you on the pitch. It doesn't take a lot. But we need something. We need something to grab hold of. We need something to go, right, okay, this is it. This is the start. I can see this green shoot. I can see what we're trying to do. And that's what we need. And that's why I think this window is absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial to not only get us back onto some sort of path of retribution. Is that right word? Redemption. But to start getting people to support West Ham again. Do you know what I mean? We get it all the time. Our WhatsApp groups, people talk. People talk to me all the time. On Twitter or Instagram, they message me and saying how disillusioned and disengaged they are with the club now. And I was talking to one guy the other day, and he's like, "I'm going to follow the youth team. Do it, definitely. Make sure you keep an eye on the academy show every Monday. Youth teams are great. Youth times are great times. The academy are great boys as well. But that's not good, is it? That ain't good. And yes, I think we do sit in a bubble. Pardon the pun. Other clubs feel the same way. I follow a few Newcastle fans and other fans, and they feel disenfranchised. The whole thing with Spurs and Spurs fans and Ange Postecoglou. No one's ever happy. But at least with Postecoglou, there was a path. Whether it's the right path, maybe not. But there's an attempt and there's a path there. And that's what I want now. I want a clear vision of what we're trying to achieve going into 2025. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'm going to go and cough my guts up now. Anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come your irons.